Archguns are the heavy weapons of Warframe, massive guns that can be mounted to your Archwing, Necramech, or even used on foot with the help of a Gravimag. Hello everyone, my name is Quad, and in this video we will go over every Archgun you can get in Warframe. We will first look at how to use them in any mission with the Gravimag and how to get that, and after that we will go over the whole list of Archguns currently in the game. No matter what people tell you, each Archgun has its pros and has its cons. Some are absolutely better than others, but every single one of them can be modded to be good for a specific job. By default, you'll first encounter Archguns during the Archwing quest. They really shine in Archwing missions and submersible missions, Railjack missions, or when mounted on a Necramech in the open worlds, but you may also use them on the ground. To actually use an Archgun, you will be able to use them freely on your Archwing or your Necramech, but outside of these options, to use them on foot, you'll need a Gravimag. You get your first one for free by completing the Profit Taker questline on Fortuna. After that, you can also craft additional Gravimags from the Tenno lab in the dojo after you research them, or you can buy them from the market for platinum if you'd rather skip the farming. Once you've got a Gravimag, you can use it on your ground freely by equipping it into your gear. Keep in mind that Archguns do not use normal ammo when deployed on foot. Instead, they drain from an Archgun ammo, which also drops in normal missions. Once the battery runs out, you will have to wait for a cooldown before summoning it again, so picking the right Archgun for the mission matters quite a lot. On the contrary, in missions with the Necramech or Archwing, the magazine of your Archgun is rechargeable, and its ammo is pretty much unlimited. When playing in normal on-foot missions, deploying an Archgun will make all the enemies in a small radius around you fly around. And in addition, you will also get 2000 overguard. But what about the Archguns? Well, we will take a look at most of them. In a couple of weeks, we will be able to obtain the Archgun that is not in this video yet. Well, here it is, but we can't get it yet. The Arbukep, at least that is how I think you would say it. Each Archgun will come with slots for one primary and one secondary arcane, which can make all of them extremely powerful, even the starter one. But because we don't have this yet, we will go over all the Archguns unmodded. I will show you what they do, tell you what they excel in, and you will also see what they are not the best at. The basics will still be the same, but the builds will be stupendous once they come around. Let's start now. Imperator and Imperator Vandal are machine Archguns. You will get the normal Imperator during the Archwing quest, and for Imperator Vandal, you get its blueprint and its drops from the Balor Fomorian event. That comes around every 3 to 8 months, so it is not that predictable. The drop chance of the blueprint, barrel, and handle are tied at 10%, so it can be quite a grind. Anyways, when it comes to the stats of normal Imperator, it is a critical chance based weapon that primarily deals impact damage and the other two physical status types as well. It has good critical chance and okay status chance as well. The critical damage multiplier is average on this weapon. Similar also goes to its Vandal counterpart with stat improvements across the board. While Imperator and Imperator Vandal are not the best of Archwing weapons, they really shine in their fire rate. The Vandal version does need some spool up or wind up before it starts shooting at its full capacity, but the normal version does not. It doesn't affect its fire rate that much though, so it doesn't really matter. Imperator is a solid starter weapon, and Imperator Vandal is a nice improvement. Corvas and Corvas Prime are the shotgun Archguns. You can get the normal Corvas blueprint on the market, and all its parts come with different syndicates at rank 2 with them. Barrel is from the Arbiters of Hexis, receiver comes from Cephalon Suda, and stock comes from the Steel Meridian. Each part requires 20,000 of Syndicate standing. All parts are tradable as well, so there is at least some chance not to change syndicates, which is something we do not like to do. Corvas Prime, on the other hand, can be obtained by cracking open relics when they are unvaulted, a much easier way to get a superior weapon. Stat-wise, Corvas primarily does heat damage, with impact being right behind it. It has low status chance and very high critical chance and critical damage multiplier. To add to its great stats, Corvas Prime has even better stats across the board, with far better status chance. You can mod it for it, so it is not that bad. When it comes to how they work, you can shoot it in two ways. First way is by quick-shotting. This will deal about a fourth of damage, but you will be able to shoot it as much as you want until reload. The second firing mode is charge shot. This will deliver the maximum amount of damage, but will make you vulnerable since you will have to deal with some aftershot recoil. When it comes to the projectiles of Corvas, the normal Corvas shoots pellets, which will miss quite a lot if you don't hit the enemy directly, but Corvas Prime shoots a slow-moving projectile as a plasma wave. The latter one is quite nice since you actually see what you hit, but you will have to guide your shots a bit, which, can be quite hard to do if you are trying to charge shot everything. Cyngas is a burst rifle arc gun. You can get its blueprint on the market and its parts from different syndicates at rank 3 for 20,000 standing. You can get the barrel from the Arbiters of Hexes, receiver from Cephalon Suda, and the stock from the Parent sequence. The stats of Cyngas are quite good. Primarily it deals all three physical status types, impact, puncture, and slash. It has good critical chance and okay critical damage multiplier and great status chance. It shoots in bursts of 3 and is highly accurate. This Archgun is quite straightforward, just imagine it as a normal burst assault rifle, just, bigger. Dual Decurion and Prisma Dual Decurion are dual rifle Archguns. You can get the normal Decurion blueprint from the market, and its parts come from the two syndicates at rank 2 for 20,000 standing. You will need 2 barrels, which come from the Arbiters of Hexes, and 2 receivers, which come from Cephalon Suda. The upgraded weapon, Prisma Dual Decurion, comes from Barrow Kitir, if he brings it around. For it, he will scam you out of 525 Orokin ducats and 175,000 credits, which is quite costly. The normal Decurion comes with great critical chance, good critical damage multiplier, and okay status chance. Primarily it does impact damage, but does the 2 other physical status types as well. On the other hand, Prisma Dual Decurion is an improved version of the Dual Decurions, with better critical chance and far better status chance. Their shooting style is pretty self-explanatory. They just shoot normal bullets, with a thing to note, that the Prisma version of the Dual Decurions is far more accurate. They are quite simple weapons, with one thing that really bugs me: Dual Decurion and Prisma Dual Decurions. Why is there a lack of S or an added S at the end? Just a little detail to take a note of, because I think there should be more S's in Warframe. Fluctus is a very interesting weapon, to say the least. You can get the blueprint for it from the Tenno lab after you research it, and its parts come from the syndicates at rank 3 for 20,000 standing. The barrel comes from Cephalon Suda, stock comes from the Steel Meridian, and limbs come from the red veil. The stats of Fluctus are quite interesting. It has good critical chance, average critical damage multiplier, and OK status chance. Primarily, it does tons of slash damage. When it comes to its performance, it shoots a wide, slow-moving shot with unlimited punch-through. Its shots will always proc impact status as well, which is quite nice. The recoil on it is quite high though, so you'll really have to manage it, and its range is not the best, so you will need to be close to your targets. Honestly, this is the perfect weapon for dealing with massive groups of enemies. I suggest you get it. Velocitus is the sniper rifle Archgun. You may get its blueprint from the Tenno lab after you research it, and its parts come from the syndicates at rank 2 for 20,000 standing. You will need a barrel from the Cephalon Suda, receiver from Steel Meridian, and the stock from the Red Veil. Velocitus has great critical chance, average critical damage multiplier, and great status chance. Primarily, it does 4 status effects in damage, impact, puncture, slash, and magnetic, which is quite awesome. When it comes to its use, it works in 2 ways. You may quick-shot it so it works more like a rifle, or you may charge it and deal double the critical chance and critical damage multiplier worths of damage, plus almost 3 times worth of base damage, which is insane. Velocitus does have quite an amazing punch-through, but it does make you vulnerable if you use its charge shot, due to the recoil. It is an amazing weapon for single targets, but when it comes to groups of enemies, it can be hard to manage. Phaedra is a status-based Archgun rifle. You can get its blueprint from the market and need to get the parts from the syndicates at rank 2 for 20,000 standing. You can get the barrel from the Arbiters of Hexis, you can get the receiver from the Parent Sequence, or as a reward from the Exterminate Archwing missions with a 5% drop chance, which is not a lot, and you also need the stock from the New Loka Syndicate. Phaedra primarily does puncture damage. It has OK critical chance, average critical damage multiplier, and great status chance. When it comes to its shooting, it is pretty simple. You shoot and bullets come out at very high velocity and fire rate. It is simply put a status-based Imperator rather than the critical-based one. So yeah, you will have to focus on status damage with this one. Larkspur is the signature weapon of Hildrin, and there is also Larkspur Prime. They are plasma thrower Archguns. You can get the blueprint for the normal Larkspur from the Tenno lab after you research it. Luckily, you don't need any additional parts for it, but the resources you need are quite hard to get if you don't like playing in the Orvalis. The Prime version, on the other hand, is obviously obtained by cracking open relics once they are unbolted. Larkspur is a purely status chance based plasma thrower. It has low critical chance and far below average critical damage multiplier with very high status chance. Primarily, it does radiation damage. On the other hand, Larkspur Prime slightly improves on the downsides of critical chance and critical damage multiplier, with slightly better fire rate and range to top it off. The shooting of it is quite simple. It has a limited range with its normal shooting style, but it is still quite great. You will shoot a plasma beam that will chain to enemies up to 6 meters away with a slight lock-on. The fire rate may not be the best at first, but this is a group killer. Its alternate fire mode will allow you to use charged shots in a form of an explosive projectile. The shot will consume far more ammo, but will deal damage in a large radius. In addition, the enemies hit with the blast will be ragdolled. This makes Larkspur and Larkspur Prime quite great for crowd control and all group takeout. Mausolon is one of my favorite Archgun weapons. You get it as you construct your first Voidrig Necromech or your Bone Widow Necromech. It has great critical chance, good critical damage multiplier, and good status chance. Primarily, it does heat and puncture damage. In my opinion, the best thing about Mausolon is its simplicity. You can use it as a machine gun, which is nothing special but very effective, and in addition, you may also use its alternate fire. To use it, you will first need to kill a couple of enemies and fill up the meter under the crosshair. When it is full, it will allow you to shoot one shot, which will explode on impact and kill groups of enemies in a small radius. The charge shot has very high critical chance, critical damage multiplier, and status chance. It is extremely powerful, so I recommend you invest in it. Morgha is a slow fire rate grenade launcher Archgun. You can get the blueprint for it from the Necroloid Syndicate for 8,000 standing, and its parts blueprints also come from the Necroloid Syndicate for 4,000 standing each. They then need to be crafted with quite some expensive resources, and some of the parts you require do need to be farmed from the Isolald bounties or can be bought from the Necrobro himself. Morgha has great critical chance, good critical damage multiplier, and great status chance, but primarily it does impact damage on direct hits and blast damage on radial hits, which is very good. When it comes to its shots, they work as a slow fire rate volley of multiple grenades that explode upon impact. It is a pretty simple and great to use weapon against groups of enemies, but that is not all. You may also fill its alternate fire mode by killing enemies and filling up the meter under your crosshair. This will allow you to shoot a slow-moving rocket that will explode after it reaches 14 meters in range. This projectile will deal extreme amounts of damage due to very high critical chance, critical damage multiplier, and status chance. This weapon is, in my opinion, a bit pushed to the side because it is not the easiest to acquire, but it is a solid weapon for a group of enemies. Cortege is a plasma thrower Archgun. You may get the blueprint for it from the Necroloid Syndicate for 8,000 standing. You will also need its parts blueprints from the Necroloid at 4,000 standing each, which is not that bad. The parts you need for all of the blueprints will require you to play Isobald bounties or the Arcana Isobald bounties though, so you know there is quite a grind. It has good critical chance, almost average critical damage multiplier, and great status chance. Primarily, it does heat damage. The weapon is a plasma thrower with a short range, so if you want to play as Adeptus Mechanicus for example, this is a heavy flamer for your Necromech. It is great against groups of enemies due to its unlimited punch-through. In addition to this, it also has an alternate fire mode. You need to kill enemies and fill up the meter under your crosshair, and once you do it, you'll be able to shoot 3 projectiles, which will deal blast damage on impact and will deal heat damage for 12 more seconds in a small area. It is quite a nice weapon for holding down an area or dismantling groups of enemies. Mandonel is an Entrati Archgun. You can get it from Sanctum Anatomica bounties as a rare drop. and its part blueprints can be obtained from rotations B and C of Deimos Entrati Survival, Alchemy, or Mirror Defense missions. It has good critical chance, average critical damage multiplier, and great status chance. Primarily, it does radiation damage. It has two firing modes. On the first one, it works as a plasma shotgun. You may quick-shot it, which will make it shoot out multiple projectiles that are very inaccurate. The accuracy, however, does depend on how much you charge the weapon. On the other hand, you may also use its charged mode, which will shoot out one beam and will make you vulnerable due to the kickback of the weapon. The charged shot leaves behind a radiation field, which will increase damage, status chance, critical chance, punch through, and projectile speed of Mandonel's quick shots. To add to that, it will also add ricochet to some of your shots. All the stat increases are on the screen right now, so yeah, this is a quite amazing and overlooked weapon in my opinion. In addition to this, Mandonel has a very powerful synergy with the Corvas Warframe. Shooting at the pillars with charged attacks will charge the pillars and will make them deal more pulses of damage. This is quite a nice synergy if you like Mandonel or Corvas, which of course we all love because he is the best Warframe out there. If you do not like him right now, then you're just blind to what is great. There is absolutely no sarcasm here. Grattler is stat-wise very average explosive Grineer machine gun Archgun. It also has superior version of it, Kuva Grattler. You may get the normal Grattler's blueprint from the Chem Lab in your dojo after you research it. Kuva Grattler, on the other hand, can be obtained from Kuva Liches or by trading for it. Normal Grattler has good critical chance, average critical damage multiplier, and good status chance. Primarily, it does puncture damage on direct hits and blast damage on radial hits. When it comes to the Kuva Grattler, it comes with slightly better stats across the board, with doubled magazine capacity, but slightly slower fire rate. Primarily, it deals puncture damage on direct hits and blast damage on radial hits, but you will also deal your Progenitor Warframe status damage to add to its total damage. When shot, it is pretty simple. Both Grattler and Kuva Grattler will shoot explosive projectiles at the enemies. They are great against groups of enemies and will dispose of them very quickly. Honestly, it is a normal machine gun, but with an explosive finish. Kuva Ayanga is a Grineer machine gun Archgun. You may get it by eliminating your Kuva Lich or by trading for it. It has great critical chance, average critical damage multiplier, and good status chance. Primarily, it does impact damage on direct hits and blast damage on radial hits. And in addition, it will also do your Progenitor Warframe status damage. Its shooting style is quite simple. You will shoot lobbing grenades at your enemies, which will explode on impact. It is quite a simple but extremely powerful weapon with OK accuracy. The fire rate is quite good as well, but not the fastest. Since it is a radial weapon, I recommend using it against groups of enemies. And that is it. As I said, we did not take a look at Arbukep since it is not out at the moment, but we did take a look at all the other Archguns. My personal favorite is Mausolon due to its simplicity and high damage output, but other Archguns are very valuable too, due to the added arcane slots that will come in just a few weeks. I myself know I will try to make Velocitus extremely powerful due to its already high base damage. So yeah, this is something I am very eager to try. Make Velocitus very good. The Archguns are tools. Some are better with critical chance and critical damage multiplier, some are better with status chance, some are better for taking out groups of enemies, and some are better against a specific enemy. With this, I thank you for watching, and I wish you a very nice day. Bye guys!